Welcome to WWE Sphere, your home for all things wrestling. Please subscribe and click the bell button for more updates if you are new to my channel. In the unforgiving world of professional wrestling, where legends are born and careers can be shattered in a single moment, few encounters have left the WWE universe as stunned and concerned as the recent confrontation between rising NXT star Trick Williams and the legendary Undertaker. What began as what many assumed would be a routine appearance by the dead man has evolved into one of the most talked about incidents in recent WWE history, leaving fans worldwide holding their breath and questioning what this means for the future of both superstars involved. The wrestling world operates on a delicate balance of respect, hierarchy, and opportunity. For Trick Williams, the charismatic NXT champion who has been steadily climbing the ranks of WWE's developmental brand, the chance to share ring time with The Undertaker represented the ultimate validation of his rising status within the company. Williams, known for his infectious personality, athletic prowess, and natural connection with audiences, had been building momentum that many industry insiders believed would soon catapult him to the main roster. The Undertaker, meanwhile, remains one of wrestling's most revered figures, a living legend whose mere presence can transform an ordinary show into an unforgettable spectacle. At 59 years old, the Deadman's appearances have become increasingly rare and precious, each one treated as a potential final farewell to the character that has defined professional wrestling for over 3 decades. When WWE announced that The Undertaker would be making a special appearance on NXT, the wrestling community immediately began speculating about his intentions and which young talent might benefit from sharing the spotlight with the icon. The anticipation reached fever pitch when it became clear that Trick Williams would be directly involved in the segment. For the young champion, this represented more than just screen time. It was an opportunity to prove himself worthy of standing alongside wrestling royalty and potentially earning The Undertaker's blessing for his future endeavors. What transpired during that fateful evening defied all expectations and sent shockwaves throughout the wrestling world. The segment began innocuously enough, with Trick Williams showcasing the confidence and charisma that had endeared him to NXT audiences. His trademark swagger was on full display as he addressed the crowd, seemingly unaware of the storm that was about to engulf him. The atmosphere in the arena shifted dramatically when The Undertaker's iconic gong echoed through the venue. The familiar darkness descended, punctuated only by the ethereal blue lighting that has become synonymous with the Deadman's presence. As the legendary figure emerged from the shadows, moving with the deliberate, measured pace that has intimidated generations of wrestlers, the crowd erupted in a mixture of excitement and anticipation. However, what should have been a moment of mutual respect between generations quickly escalated into something far more sinister. The Undertaker's demeanor was different, more aggressive, more focused, and carrying an air of malevolence that hadn't been seen in years. Those familiar with the Deadman's various personas recognized this as reminiscent of his darkest periods, when he was less concerned with passing torches and more focused on collecting souls. The confrontation that followed was nothing short of brutal. The Undertaker's assault on Trick Williams was systematic and devastating, utilizing every weapon in his legendary arsenal. From the thunderous power of his signature moves to the psychological warfare that has been his trademark for decades, the Deadman left no stone unturned in his systematic dismantling of the young champion. Witnesses described the attack as unlike anything they had seen from The Undertaker in recent years. Gone was the measured veteran making strategic appearances. In his place stood the supernatural force that had terrorized WWE superstars throughout the 1990s and 2000s. The intensity and duration of the assault left many in attendance genuinely concerned for Williams's well-being, with several reports suggesting that backstage personnel were genuinely alarmed by what they were witnessing. In the immediate aftermath of the attack, the focus shifted from entertainment to genuine concern for Trick Williams's condition. Medical personnel were quickly summoned to ringside, and the young superstar was carefully attended to before being transported for further evaluation. The sight of Williams being helped to the back, visibly shaken and struggling to maintain his composure, served as a stark reminder that despite the predetermined nature of professional wrestling, the physical and emotional toll on performers is very real. Reports from backstage painted a picture of a locker room in shock. Fellow NXT superstars, many of whom had looked up to Williams as a leader and inspiration, struggled to process what they had witnessed. Veterans in the company were equally stunned, with many noting that they had never seen The Undertaker display such intensity outside of major storyline angles. The WWE medical team's evaluation of Williams reportedly revealed the extent of the physical impact from the encounter. While specific details remain confidential due to privacy concerns, sources close to the situation have indicated that the young champion sustained injuries that will require significant recovery time. More concerning to many is the potential psychological impact of such an intense encounter with a figure as imposing as The Undertaker. The wrestling industry's response to the incident has been as complex and varied as the community itself. Veteran wrestlers have offered conflicting perspectives on what transpired and its implications for both performers involved. Some have praised The Undertaker's commitment to his character and suggested that such intense encounters are necessary for young talent to truly understand the gravity of working at the highest levels of professional wrestling. Others have expressed concern about the appropriateness of such an intense confrontation, particularly given the significant experience gap between the two performers. These voices argue that while The Undertaker's legendary status grants him certain privileges and responsibilities, those should include protecting and nurturing younger talent rather than potentially jeopardizing their careers and well-being. Fellow NXT performers have rallied around Williams, with many taking to social media to express their support and concern. The tight-knit nature of the NXT roster has become evident as superstars who might typically be rivals have united in their worry for their colleagues' condition and future. Fans, meanwhile, have been equally divided in their reactions. The Undertaker's most devoted followers have defended the legend's actions, arguing that such encounters are part of wrestling's grand tradition and that Williams should consider himself honored to have been chosen for such attention from the dead man. Others have expressed genuine outrage, viewing the attack as excessive and potentially damaging to a rising talent who represents the future of the industry. Beyond the obvious physical implications of the encounter, mental health professionals who work with professional wrestlers have highlighted the potential psychological impact of such an intense confrontation. The nature of The Undertaker's character and presentation, designed specifically to intimidate and unnerve opponents, can have lasting effects on those who experience his wrath firsthand. Dr. Sarah Mitchell, a sports psychologist who has worked extensively with combat sports athletes, explains that encounters of this intensity can create lasting trauma responses, particularly in younger performers who may not have developed the mental resilience necessary to process such experiences. The combination of physical violence and psychological intimidation creates a perfect storm for potential long-term mental health challenges, she notes. For Trick Williams, who built his career on confidence and charisma, the potential impact on his self-assurance and in-ring presence could be devastating. The young superstar's entire persona is built around his belief in himself and his ability to overcome any challenge. Having that foundation shaken by such a dominant and overwhelming force could fundamentally alter how he approaches his craft going forward. Perhaps the most intriguing aspect of this entire situation is attempting to understand The Undertaker's motivations for such an intense confrontation. Those who have worked closely with the legend describe him as someone deeply committed to the wrestling business and protective of its traditions and standards. Some industry insiders speculate that The Undertaker may have viewed this encounter as a test, a brutal but necessary evaluation of whether Williams possesses the mental fortitude required to succeed at the highest levels of WWE. This interpretation suggests that The Undertaker's actions, while seemingly malicious, were actually born from a desire to prepare Williams for the challenges he will inevitably face as he progresses in his career. In this view, the Deadman's assault was less about destruction and more about transformation, a violent baptism designed to forge Williams into a stronger, more resilient performer. Alternatively, some observers have suggested that The Undertaker's actions may have been motivated by concerns about the current generation of WWE superstars. In this interpretation, the legend was sending a message to the entire locker room about the standards and expectations that come with working in WWE. By making an example of one of NXT's most promising talents, The Undertaker may have been attempting to instill a sense of respect and humility in performers who he believes have become too comfortable and complacent. The long-term implications of this incident for Trick Williams's career remain unclear, but several possible scenarios have emerged from industry speculation. In the best-case scenario, Williams will recover fully from both the physical and psychological aspects of the encounter and return stronger than ever. Such a comeback story would undoubtedly enhance his credibility and could position him as someone who has survived the Undertaker's wrath, a badge of honor that few can claim. However, the possibility of lasting damage cannot be ignored. If Williams struggles to regain his confidence or if physical injuries prove more serious than initially assessed, his promising career trajectory could be significantly altered. The wrestling industry is littered with examples of young talents whose careers were derailed by encounters with established stars, and Williams could unfortunately become another cautionary tale. There is also the possibility that this incident could serve as a catalyst for Williams's development, pushing him to evolve his character and approach in ways that ultimately benefit his career. Many of wrestling's greatest stars have pointed to specific moments of adversity as turning points that shaped their paths to superstardom. Williams may look back on this encounter as the moment he truly began his journey toward becoming a main event player. This incident also highlights the ongoing tension between wrestling's traditional values and its modern evolution. The Undertaker represents the old-school approach to the business, one where respect is earned through struggle and where young talent must prove themselves worthy through trials by fire. This philosophy has produced some of wrestling's greatest stars but has also been criticized for its potential to cause unnecessary harm. Modern WWE, particularly the NXT brand, has embraced a more collaborative and supportive approach to talent development. This newer philosophy emphasizes mentorship, gradual development, and creating safe environments for performers to grow and learn. The clash between these two approaches was evident in the aftermath of The Undertaker's assault on Williams. Industry veterans argue that encounters like this are necessary to maintain wrestling's credibility and ensure that new performers understand the gravity of their profession. They contend that the business has become too sanitized and that young talent needs to experience real adversity to develop the mental toughness required for success. Critics of this perspective argue that such encounters are relics of a bygone era and that modern wrestling can maintain its intensity and credibility without potentially jeopardizing performers' health and careers. They advocate for more structured and controlled methods of testing and developing young talent. The incident has also highlighted the deep emotional investment that wrestling fans have in their favorite performers. The outpouring of concern and support for Trick Williams from the WWE Universe demonstrates the genuine connections that fans form with wrestlers, particularly those like Williams who have built their careers on authenticity and relatability. Social media platforms have been flooded with messages of support, fan art depicting Williams's recovery, and heated debates about The Undertaker's actions. This level of engagement demonstrates that wrestling, at its best, creates genuine emotional stakes that transcend the predetermined nature of the outcomes. The incident has also sparked broader discussions about the responsibilities that established stars have toward younger talent and the role that fans should play in holding the industry accountable for performer safety and well-being. As the wrestling world continues to process and analyze this shocking encounter, several important lessons have emerged. The incident serves as a reminder of the real physical and emotional risks that professional wrestlers face every time they step into the ring. It also highlights the importance of clear communication and mutual understanding between performers of different generations and experience levels. For WWE as a company, the incident presents both challenges and opportunities. How they handle the aftermath, particularly in terms of supporting Williams's recovery and addressing fan concerns, will send important messages about their priorities and values. The company's response could influence how similar situations are handled in the future and may impact their relationships with both talent and fans. The incident also reinforces the unique position that legends like The Undertaker occupy within the wrestling industry. Their actions carry weight and consequences that extend far beyond individual matches or storylines. With great power comes great responsibility, and the wrestling community will undoubtedly continue to debate whether The Undertaker exercised his influence appropriately in this situation. As we await further updates on Trick Williams's condition and recovery, one thing remains certain: this incident will be remembered as a defining moment for all involved. Whether it ultimately serves as a catalyst for Williams's growth, a cautionary tale about the dangers of wrestling, or something else entirely, remains to be seen. The wrestling world continues to watch and wait, hoping for the best possible outcome for a young performer who had captured hearts and imaginations with his talent and charisma. The Undertaker, meanwhile, remains an enigmatic figure whose motivations and methods continue to generate discussion and debate. What cannot be disputed is that this encounter has reminded everyone involved, performers, fans, and industry professionals, of the real stakes and genuine emotions that make professional wrestling such a compelling and occasionally heartbreaking form of entertainment. As the story continues to unfold, WWE Sphere will remain committed to providing thoughtful, comprehensive coverage of all developments. We join the wrestling community in hoping for Trick Williams's full recovery and in reflecting on the lessons that this shocking incident can teach us about the business we all love. The night everything changed for Trick Williams serves as a stark reminder that in professional wrestling, legends are made and broken in the blink of an eye, and sometimes the most memorable moments are those we wish had never happened at all. Stay tuned to WWE Sphere for continued coverage of this developing story and all the latest news from the world of professional wrestling.